Hello everybody. Are we live? I think we're live. If anyone's watching, if they could comment and say yes, we're live. Oh, yeah, no, I think we are live. Yeah, we are. Oh, wow. Got there in the end. That was quite a challenge. Figuring out how to get it working and to update my computer software for this particular streaming service. Rah-de-rah. Anyway, I got there in the end. But yeah, what a mission. It should be easier next time. This is not the first time I've done a live stream either, so I thought it was going to be easy, but no. But I guess if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Isn't that right? Anyway, so yeah, this live stream, the idea is for me to show you my calendar, 2027 calendar, and also to talk about the stories behind the calendar. So the calendar just arrived today in the mail, the first proof of it. Those who were on Facebook earlier today would already know that, because I did a short live stream on there. But yeah, so the first proof done, and it looks awesome. I've had a look through it. The only thing they didn't do is the glossy laminate on the front and the back, but I'll message them to make sure that they do that for the other, for the actual print run. And I have gone over 300 sales now for pre-orders. So that's been pretty exciting. Last year I sold a little bit over 200. And this year I am probably going to get 400 printed, possibly even more depending on how sales go over the next few days. So yeah, sales continuing for the 50% off sale. So they're only $20 at the moment each. But that sale will end on Sunday, this Sunday, so in a few days' time. And size, and the large ones are at the moment on sale as well. So those are $60 down from $80. They're pretty massive, the big ones. So they're twice the size. So that's the A3 size, and that's the A4 size. So yeah, and when you unfold the A3 one, it's actually A2 if you with the full size. So it's pretty massive. So someone emailed me today, and they asked if I could do an A1 version of this, and I said no, sorry, don't do A1. That would be absolutely massive. That'd be A0 once you unfolded it. So twice this size, which would have been, yeah. I don't even know whether the printers do that size, but it was an interesting question. So if you, and as I'm going through, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm still assuming that we're live. I haven't had any comments yet, but it says that I'm live. Yep, been live for 4 minutes. Yep, no, so it definitely is live. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk a bit about the stories behind this, but and the stories behind the photos, and because each one has got an interesting story behind it, and thought that people would be interested to hear that. Oh, and by the way, this is my first video since I got monetized. So on YouTube, I got monetized about 2 weeks ago, and haven't had time to do any videos, any new videos since then. My satellite video that went viral is still doing well, still getting about 500 views, no, 250 views per day, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's been awesome. But I'll try and make more regular videos now that I am actually monetized on YouTube. It's just a case of having the time to do it. And yeah, and more satellite videos, because I realize people love satellite videos, and especially weird ones where it looks like something's coming out of the mountain. 100 what are we up to? About 170,000 views on that particular YouTube video, on the satellite one. But anyway, that's a different story. So yeah, so the images and the stories. And as I go through, yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I'm keeping an eye on the comments, and I will reply to you. So yeah, so that's the first image, January, Back Beach sunset. So that one was just a single shot and beautiful sunset. And I'd been to that spot a few times before that, and was just sort of waiting for a really good sunset to capture it when it was looking really good like that. Back Beach, it's only about 5 or 10 minutes drive from where I live, not too far. It's just on the outskirts of New Plymouth. Easy location to get to. Sometimes I go surfing there. And yeah, it's one of the best places in New Plymouth to watch sunsets. A lot of people will go there and park their car at the top of the hill, and sometimes if it's a nice fine day, there might be 50 people up there, just especially in the summertime, just enjoying the sunset. That particular one, it's kind of a little bit of a tucked away spot there. And that, it looks like it's a track, but it's not really. It doesn't really go anywhere. So yeah, it's close to the upper car park. I'm sure if you're keen to find it, if you are in New Plymouth, that you will be able to find it. The secret's out now. So yes, and that was taken 18th of January. So January and February as well seem to be the best times for sunsets for New Plymouth. I think it's just having that fine weather, but what you want for a good sunset is a lot of haze, a lot of upper cloud. So that particular day I was looking at the forecasts, and I could see that there was a lot of haze in the sky, so that there would be a good chance of a good sunset. Oh yes, and of course the cover shot. I need to talk about that. So this moonrise over Mount Taranaki is taken on the 2nd of May this year, and it's real. Well, I think people that have been following me for a while will know that I don't do fake photos. And I go to a lot of work to get to the right place. So with the moon alignments, and this particular one, it is 2 shots, but it's the only, like the first, did 1 shot for the mountain and the moon, but then the moon is overexposed. So then I take a second shot that's underexposed, where the mountain will be really dark, but the moon will have the detail in, and then I combine those 2 images. But the moon actually is in that exact position. It's not just photoshopped or AI. And yeah, the hard part is getting to the right place at the right time to get the alignment. And when I first started doing those alignments, I didn't have a really good app like I have now, and so there was a little bit of guesswork involved, and I would drive past and I'd see the moon starting to come up on the side of the mountain, and then I would drive back about a kilometre or so until I saw the moon just disappear, and I knew it would come up on it from on an angle like that to get the alignment. So a little bit of guesswork involved in some of my moon alignments from a couple of years ago. But nowadays, though, I use an app called Planet Pro, and that helps me to simulate the alignment exactly. I know exactly what time and place, where to go, and it links up with Google Maps, and and then but the biggest challenge though is the weather, because and this particular day, if you look closely, you can see there's a bit of cloud just at the bottom there, and all below that was quite solid cloud. So yeah, I wasn't sure whether it was going to fully cloud over, and whether or not we were going to be able to get the shot. And I say we because there was a couple of other people from my Facebook private group that joined me for this particular one, and we were just on the side of the road, and the main state highway 45, that one was, that goes around the coast, and so I remember this was in Warrior near Pungarehu, for those who know Taranaki. But for all these moon alignments, depending on what time of year you are, you'll be sometimes all the way as far south as Opunake, and sometimes as far north as Okato, Stony River, around there. Yes, in the summertime it's closer to Opunake, and then the winter closer to Okato, and then somewhere in between there, depending on the time of year it is. And the moon apparently follows a 16-year cycle, so in 16 years' time, if it's fine weather, I could theoretically get the same exact shot from the exact same location. Whether there'll be fine weather in 16 years' time is another thing. And we've got one viewer. Hello. All right, so those are those two shots. Oh, and the other cool thing about this particular photo is if you look closely, there is, where is it? Just there is a plane. And someone accused me of it being fake because the plane didn't quite look right. And that's because it's a long exposure of, I think, 1/8 of a second, or it might have even been 1 second. I'm trying to remember the exact settings I used for that shot. About 1 second. And so in that 1 second, the plane had moved slightly. So it's kind of, the plane's a bit stretched out. And that wasn't planned. That was just a bit of luck. And I did some digging online and there's a flight app, and I worked out that it was the flight from Nelson to Auckland. So yeah, that's what that is. And if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't notice, because it just looks like a little white streak on there. February, so that is the gear lock wreck, taken 20th of February 2026, and got the mountain in there as well. I almost didn't get the mountain. I was a little bit lucky that night. The cloud was sort of coming and going, but just got the top of the mountain in that shot. Last summer I went there, I think, about 3 times altogether, and photographed it at night as well, and got the Milky Way lined up over the wreck, which looked pretty cool. But I felt like that was my favourite, that day shot. And I did make a short video about one of the night times I was there. It was terrible for bugs, and the bugs were getting in. So I had a bug net on, and the bugs were getting in, and even with the mosquito net thing, there was a couple that managed to get inside the bug net. It's not so bad in the daytime, but yeah, at night time, the light, the head torch, and the stuff that you need, It's like moths to a flame. The insects just, and we made it very unpleasant. And there's lots of crabs there too, especially at night time, because you need to go there at low tide to get the shot there. So that's that one. I think we've got one person still watching. Hello. Everyone's probably busy. Or it's possible that there's more people watching than my computer is telling me. But anyway, next one. The Milky Way over the Stony River. Oh, before I go on to that, I should say too that if you're interested in that, check out the video that I made. I did a short one and a longer one, and it's quite an interesting story too, that wreck. March. So Stony River, Milky Way over the Stony River, 21st of March 2026, and got my tent set up there, and I slept the night there and had a all-night time-lapse going, which went viral. Trying to remember how many views that one had. A couple of 100,000, I think, on Facebook anyway. And I took some other photos as well that from that night. There was a couple of all-night time lapses that I did from there, and each of them were a bit different. There was one that had a lunar halo over the mountain, and then another one that I did that was a full 360. But yeah, I love that spot. The river is quite loud. I put earplugs in to help me sleep that night. But yeah, and it's gradually eroding too, that section there. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like the next time I go back there, whether that spot is still even there. It might have eroded more hard up to the trees. And that particular spot, again, a little bit hard to get to. Not totally a secret spot, but it's probably Taranaki's worst kept secret, maybe. But yeah, it's an amazing spot. I saw an owl, a moorpork there once, ruru in Māori. So that was pretty cool. That's the first time I've ever seen one, actually. They're usually pretty good at hiding. It was just in the twilight as I was walking through the bush there back to my car, and I was like, oh, there's an owl right there, not by the track. What else can I say about that? I love it. Oh, the green colour, yeah, that's air glow. The air glow, which it's not aurora, but it's kind of a little bit similar. It's to do with the molecules in the upper atmosphere getting excited by the sun's radiation. Green and red are the most common colours of air glow. You can't really see it with your eyes, apart from sometimes if it's real strong, you might get the sky looks a bit brighter than usual. But I've never actually seen that colour with my eyes, but the camera is able to pick it up. April, so that's the Stony River, taken on the 3rd of May last year, 2025. So that particular one, it's a little bit of a secret spot. It's only really me and one other person that knows exactly where that spot is. Well, there could be some other people that know, but I had never been there before. We hiked for about an hour up the mountain to get to there. Me and my friend Greg. Hello, Greg, if you watch this. And I was really keen to get back there this last summer, but just didn't end up happening. Got busy and one thing and another. But yeah, I would love to go back there, and hopefully it's still there, because the river's always changing. The Stony River is such a powerful river. It's always changing, so I don't know whether that same spot will still be there the next time we go back. May, Mohakatino, Milky Way, over the Mohakatino River, taken on the 18th of May. What can I say about this one? So, yeah, you can see the Milky Way core there, and it's reflected a little bit in the river. This particular spot, it's about a couple of minutes drive off the main road, and it's really, really dark, which is great for capturing the Milky Way. Almost no traffic down that particular road, apart from the occasional farmer. Oh yeah, when I was taking this particular photo, just before I took those photos, one of the farmers came by and he stopped, and I had a bit of a chat with him, and he said, "Oh, are you that guy that photographed the moon, the eclipse, a few months back from here?" And I said, yeah. It was his farm across the other side of the river that was in the foreground. So that was interesting and nice to meet one of the locals. He was quite friendly. Oh, and the other thing about that location is I did capture a possum once. If you look through my shorts, the short video reels, there's a video where there's a possum that I captured on video climbing up one of the fence posts from near there. June, Matariki or Pleiades over Mount Taranaki. So this particular one was the only one that I changed just recently. Like I basically had finalized the calendar, but then just a few days ago, before I did the final send off to the printing company, I changed this one, swapped it out for one of the other images that wasn't as strong. And yeah, this particular image is one that went viral on my Facebook page and got nearly 1 million views. So yeah, that was about a week or so ago for the Matariki holiday. And now that I'm monetized on Facebook, I made a couple $100 just from ad revenue from monetization revenue from Facebook, just from that getting shared. So if you are on Facebook, thank you so much for all your likes and shares and comments. It really means a lot and helps me to gradually work towards doing more of what I love doing, and not just paying for petrol and paying, getting new gear. So what else can I say? Oh yeah, so this particular one, it's some people accused me of faking it. It's not fake, it's real. It's not AI, it's not photoshopped or just Photoshop. So it's 2 shots. But the alignment was real. The stars were actually in that position. But in order to get as much detail in the nebula around Matariki, what I did was basically the only way at this stage, of the technology of cameras, is to use a star tracker. So I use a star tracker for the stars, but when you do that, it blurs the foreground. So I photographed the stars with the star tracker, which moves the camera at the same rate as the stars are moving. And yeah, then you get a blurry foreground, but then turn the tracker off and photograph the foreground yeah, photographed the foreground without the tracker on. So I think it was a 1.5 minute shot for the foreground, and I think I took a 4-minute shot for one single 4-minute shot. I did try to do multiple shots and stacking shorter exposures, but it didn't work for me, and I couldn't figure out why. So in the end, I just used this single shot and blended them together. And because this image has been so popular, it gave me extra motivation to go back to the same spot and photograph it again a couple of days ago. So stay tuned for those photos. I think they could be even better than this one, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Just looking too at the bottom of the calendar, I do have some of the things like, well, all of the full moons and new moons that particular month next year. The winter solstice is on the 22nd of June. I think there might be a couple of eclipses. I'm trying to remember next year. I know there's one partial lunar eclipse, I think it is, or a penumbral lunar eclipse next year. That particular one is the only one where the date of the 21st of October is not matching June. So most of them, they're taken in the same month. This particular one was taken quite a bit after, because that particular year it was cloudy for Matariki, and it was a couple of months after Matariki and before I actually managed to get a chance to fine weather plus no moon to be able to capture the image that I wanted to get. So that's why the date. If I hadn't mentioned it though, probably no one would notice. All right, next one, July. So that one is Puakai Tans, a reflection. That was taken 9th of July 2024 at dawn. So you can see the stars reflected in the water and the Milky Way there. Yeah, and got the reflection. The sun's just starting to rise, the glow from the sun over there on the, it'll be just over there. Oh, and that particular night, that's ice there. So it was freezing cold, and I did some astro the night before that. And I stayed up till about midnight before I retreated to the hut because I was so cold. And I did get some good night, photos of the Milky Way on that particular night. If you look closely too, there's the Carina Nebula there that my camera has picked up. So my main two cameras are astro modified, which means that they are able to pick up the red colour in the nebulae better. But that was just a single shot. I think it was a 13-second shot, that particular image. I've also got meteor showers mentioned, so 29th of July next year, there's the Southern Delta Aquarid meteor shower. Some of those minor ones, I wasn't even sure whether to put them in, because it's not, the number of meteors that you get for that particular one, I don't think it's that great, but I thought I'd put it in there anyway. All right, next one. Lake Mangabohoi on a beautiful winter's day. A little bit breezy, the ripple on the water there. But yeah, I wanted to get a good shot like that with the snow quite a long way down. So that was 21st of August 2025. So there's still hope yet for lots of snow for the mount at the moment. The mountain's not really looking, like the snow's not that far down. But we do have a big possibility of a really good dump of snow coming for this weekend. So I'm keeping a close eye on that. Unfortunately for astrophotography side of things, it's coinciding with getting close to the full moon, which is not what I want for Milky Way photography. but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I still might get up the mountain and get some nice snow shots, maybe go to the Tarns or something like that. That's one of my bucket list shots, is to get the snow around the Puakai Tarns. Last year there was the one sort of chance that I probably could have got that shot. I was too busy with work and wasn't able to get up, but I'm hoping this year I can get up there. And I also want to get the totally frozen over. So again, this year there's been some other people that managed to photograph the Tarns. So I'm talking about this location, to get it totally frozen over. But it doesn't happen that often, and yeah, it's a case of having the time to get up there as well when it's frozen over. Oh yes, and then so with that month there, looking at the calendar, 17th of August there, that's when there's the lunar eclipse, penumbral lunar eclipse. Penumbral lunar eclipses, yeah, it's not like a blood moon, orange, full eclipse of the moon. If I remember correctly, it'll kind of go a little bit darker than usual, but from New Zealand, it's not going to be that spectacular. It won't look like this. So this is what a full lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse looks like. And I managed to get it over the mountain. So that was 8th of September last year. And the unusual and rare thing about that is that it was a dawn eclipse as well. Some of the other total lunar eclipses have happened around midnight, but this particular one happened in the early hours of the morning. I think it was something like about 5 o'clock in the morning that I got this shot. And so, yeah, I was able to get the snow on the mountain better, and I knew it was going to look great as long as the weather stayed fine, and it did. And I knew it wasn't going to be perfectly lined up for the location that I went to, and I did look for somewhere else to try to get it better lined up, but there were too many trees and stuff in the way in the other locations. So that's part of the reason that I went to that particular location in Midhurst, where I knew it was going to be off to the side of the peak of the mountain a little bit. But I still think it looks pretty cool. And of course, a lunar eclipse is when the when the moon enters the shadow of the Earth. So the sun is behind you, below the horizon, obviously, and it's hitting the dark side of the Earth, or the nighttime side of the Earth, and then that shadow of the Earth, when the moon goes into that shadow, it creates the eclipse. About once a year, once every 2 years, get an eclipse. But solar eclipses are another thing though, and I think it's about once every 130 years where you can get a total solar eclipse in one location. So if you're not able to travel for a total solar eclipse, you usually have to wait a long time. And that's one of the reasons I'm excited about the solar eclipse 2 years from now. Actually, I think it's 2 years from today. That'll be in the South Island. So hopefully I can take time off and go down. I've already got it on my calendar to go down to the Path of Totality near Queenstown to photograph the total solar eclipse, which will happen, I think, about 4:30 in the afternoon. And solar eclipses, I've never seen a total one. I've seen video and photos of them. Next level in terms of how spectacular they are. If you've never seen a video of a total solar eclipse, go to YouTube and type in total solar eclipse. There's some amazing videos on YouTube of like the one in Australia a year or two ago, and then I think there was one in America a couple of years ago. Absolutely incredible. So hopefully I can photograph that over the Southern Alps and we get fine weather. I'm almost, the other option I've got is to fly to Australia, and I really think maybe I should do that, because the chances of the weather being better in Australia are a lot higher. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, next one. So October. So the aurora from October 2024. That's Lake Mangamahoe. Aurora over Mount Taranaki, 11th of October. And it didn't quite look as colourful to the naked eye, that particular one. Camera picked up the colours though, but you can see a bit of the beams there, hopefully. So there were beams that were over the mountain and they were going back and forward. And that's what you don't capture in a photo that I know that was moving. And if you've seen video of aurora, you'll know it was moving. So the next aurora that happens, I'll definitely try and get video of it. I'm kicking myself actually that I didn't try and get video as well as the photos. The last two auroras, the one that we had in May and October. Back then I wasn't focused as much on video. It's only been the last 6 months really that I've realised how important it is to be doing videos as well as the photos to help with engagement. Yeah, because I know the story, I know the feeling of what it was like when I took the photos. But yeah, it just adds a whole another dimension. And then another dimension is when you do an all-night time lapse. Like, I know what it feels like to stay up all night photographing the stars and see the stars slowly moving. But when you see the whole thing in one go, condensed into 1 minute, it's, even for me, quite special to see that. But it brings back the feeling of being under the stars and under the Milky Way. Orionid meteor shower on the 22nd of October. So the Orionids are I think, a bit better meteor shower than some of the others. Labour Day, 25th of October, that's in there. Oh, the other thing too about that photo is that we were really lucky with the, not only to have fine weather, but to have no wind. There was almost no wind, so yeah, be able to get the reflection. And the moon was out just slightly, so that helped to make the mountain more visible. Oh, yeah, the other thing about that interesting part to that story is the other people that were with me then. So there were about half a dozen other photographers that were there on that particular night. We all, great minds think alike, we all had the same idea. A couple of my friends, Kyle and Dean, were there from the astronomy club, and Peter Florence was there, and then a few other people as well. And we were all hooting and hollering when it got a little bit far. This is not the peak. The peak was about an hour. This was taken at about 9 o'clock at night, but it sort of went quiet for a while, backed off a bit, and a couple of people went home because they're like, oh, nothing's happening. They went home about 10:30 p.m. or so, and then yeah, those of us who did stick around, we were just so excited. It was about 11:15 where it went absolutely crazy, and the beams just were so strong, and naked eye visible. That just looked, it's the most amazing, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I would say it's the most amazing astronomical phenomenon I've ever seen. Yeah, it's hard to describe what it's like to see an aurora with your own eyes. Even though, yeah, the colour wasn't very strong, there's just a bit of a pink glow Just, yeah, and the height as well of the beams, how high they were going up, you know, way up above the Southern Cross, and yeah, it's just, it was just, it only lasted for a couple of minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes at that peak point where it was really, really bright with the beams. So yeah, I didn't use that peak part for the photo. I felt like this one was more photogenic because the moon, yeah, when it did peak, I think the moon had already gone down, so that the mountain wasn't quite as clear. So yeah, so that's the story behind that one. Next one, November, Cape Egmont Lighthouse, Pangarehu. So that's 10th of November 2023. Another one that's a little bit of an older one that I felt was too good to ignore, and felt was calendar worthy. Got the Leonid meteor shower that month. But yeah, so it was taken at sunset. The surf was rolling in behind me, and yeah, just the beautiful fine evening. What else can I say about that one? I managed to get the light on the lighthouse going. Got it when it was on. Oh, the funny thing for me about this particular location is that it wasn't. I've photographed the spot for quite a few years now, and it was only last summer that I realised you could actually go up to the base, because what I didn't realise is that they close it in the evening, and usually when I go there it's in the evening like this. But if you go there in the daytime, I don't know, like 9 AM to 5 PM or whatever it is, the gate is open and you can actually walk right up to the base. You can't go up it, but yeah, you can get right up to the bottom of the lighthouse. So yeah, check it out if you are able to. It's a really beautiful spot and very photogenic. And the last one, Festival of Lights, taken 24th of December 2024 at Pukekura Park. So yeah, and I got it just as he was rowing the boats back to take them back, and have the boats all out for people during the Festival of Lights. If you can see a few ducks there, and yeah, the main bridge over the lake was illuminated. The hard part about that is that it was quite dark. So for those who are into photography, I took it. I think it was about 1/8 of a second, and quite a high ISO to still get enough detail in the shot. But yeah, I really like that one. And the Pukekura Park is not too far from where I live, so it's a special place for me and for thousands of others. At the during the summertime, it's been running for quite a few years now, and people come from all over New Zealand, possibly even all around the world, to see the festival. What else? Anything? Geminids meteor shower. I think that's one of the better ones on the 15th of December next year. Christmas. Yeah, anyway. And then on the back, got all the images there. All images captured in Taranaki, New Zealand by Brendan Larsen. So someday I hope to be able to travel all around New Zealand and do a calendar that has got all of, you know, some of the best spots all around New Zealand. But I love Taranaki. I wasn't born here. I was actually born in Auckland, but I've lived most of my life here. Have lived different places around New Zealand and even overseas. I lived in Japan for a few years as well. Taught English over there. What else can I say? That's probably about it for now. I'll keep an eye on the comments later after I end this video. So if you have any questions, I'll also put a link to where you can purchase the calendar on my website. Hopefully you see this video if you're wanting to buy one. Hopefully you see this video before the sale ends on Sunday. But yeah, thank you though to everyone who has already purchased calendars. It means a lot to me, and it's really encouraging to see the success of the calendar this year, and it all helps me with working towards this someday becoming more than just a side hustle for me. You know, monetize on Facebook, monetize on YouTube now. Those were, you know, two major milestones for me. Still sort of early days with those things. And I've only been doing photography for about 6 years. So, you know, properly, with a professional level camera. So, yeah, I feel like I'm still improving, still getting better. There's so much to learn. You know, anyone can take a photo, but to take a really good photo that looks, you know, real and natural is another thing. And yeah, then to have the right gear and know how to be able to photograph the stars and the Milky Way, that's a whole nother level. Not that I'm the only one that's doing this, but yeah, people seem to enjoy my photos. I'm also going to be in the Taranaki Arts Trail again this year, so hopefully be able to see some of you for that if you're able to. It's not till October though, but keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I think that about sums it up. blarsenphoto.com is my website. There's a fake one out there. I forget what it was, but this scammer created one, and it was like Brendan Photography.com, and that's not me. So yeah, but when you do Google, I don't think that one comes up. But yeah, he was on Facebook and trying to scam people when I had a giveaway to celebrate 12,000 subscribers. I think the last giveaway was. But yeah. All right, thank you for watching. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, if you could do that, that'd be really awesome. It means a lot to me. I'll be creating more videos in the future, showing you behind the scenes content of the adventures behind the photos. I'll be doing some how-to videos about, especially to do with astrophotography, and definitely want to get some more satellite videos. Yeah, those ones have been super popular. So if you are someone that started following me because of the satellite video, I'm not just a satellite guy. I do other stuff as well, as you've seen. Anyway, thank you for watching. All the best. Have a good night, or a good day, whatever time you're watching this. And I will finish it there. Thanks so much. See ya.